Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to our May 12th, 2021 Board of Education meeting. At this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Juan Craft to lead us in our invocation, and then I would like to call on Taylor McCarthy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, thank you. Technology and social media are a wonderful thing, except when they aren't. But in my case, social media has been really good because I've connected with high school friends from more years than I want to talk about. Anyway, Larry Cole, a classmate of mine, posted something on Facebook last week that I would like to share with you, and he didn't want me to share who it was from, but I told him I was going to anyway. So, for weeks we have heard people saying, "I just can't wait for things to be back to normal." I remember even saying that a few times myself. But as I've thought about our current situation, I've realized how much I don't want things to go back to the way they were. Here are a few thoughts. I hope that the next time a friend grabs me and pulls me in for a hug, I actually take the time to appreciate the gift of their embrace. I hope that when school resumes and you are dropping your kids off, you take the time to thank the staff for the amazing gift that they give to your family. I hope that the next time I'm sitting in a crowded restaurant, I take the time to look around at the smiling faces, loud voices, and be more appreciative for the gift of community. I hope that when I'm at the grocery store, that I take a moment to acknowledge the necessities of life and the amazing people who work so hard to keep us supplied. I hope that I never again take for granted the ability to hop in the car and visit a friend, go to the mall, go to a movie, etc. I hope that we never take for granted college sports, Gator sports to be more specific. We won't hold that against him. So, truth is, I don't want things to return to the way they once were. I hope that we take the lessons and challenges of the past few weeks and months and create a new normal. My goal is to appreciate more, love harder, and truly appreciate the daily abundance of blessings that were so easily overlooked just a few months ago. If someone tells you they love you, take it to heart.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Craft. Ms. Taylor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we go into open our meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, at this time we'd like to recognize a few people, and Sandy Reynolds is going to assist us with that.
Thank you. It's been a year, as Ms. Craft has just reiterated, and I know you've gotten updates all along the way, but I just asked for an opportunity to be able to address the board about kind of a year in review of what we've been through, what we've accomplished, and as Ms. Craft said, lessons learned. So this is just a short synopsis of our virtual year. Obviously on March 13th, our lives changed dramatically. Day I'll never forget, when everything shut down for all of us. Parents, students, teachers, kids, in a way that none of us had ever anticipated, and frankly none of us had any experience to draw from. It was nothing that you could look for a model or look for a history lesson to say, okay, now how do we deal with this going into a completely virtual world. I think we learned quickly. I believe that we were very innovative, and Dr. Lutz and Ms. Dowdy were certainly on the cusp of keeping up with all of the other districts for who was doing where and how we could collaborate and how we could learn from each other and try to do the best we could in the shortest amount of time possible. Some of the things, sorry. The third, some of the challenges we faced, we were not one-to-one elementary school, and I know you've heard that before. We weren't even close to sending home devices in elementary school for even 3 through 5th, which we did have some for. We had started those conversations prior to COVID, but we weren't anywhere close to making some decisions about that. Our internet connectivity was an issue not just for students, but for staff members, not all of which is an economic issue. Some of it's geography. We can't do anything to get internet currently to Gibbs Woods location. There are some new developments that have gone in that they cannot get service to their homes, all of which were problems that we had to figure out how to mitigate so that we could still deliver a quality education. We also had limited digital resources available and funding. As I know Dr. Lutz has shared, this was the year that the state cut the technology budget from their budget, and it was a very difficult thing for all of us to take. They rerouted those funds elsewhere. So thankfully, due to Larissa York and our district leadership and CARES Act money, we were able to make good decisions and get some of the things that we needed. We also had to deal with delays in technology orders, 3 to 6 months everywhere. It didn't matter who your supplier was. You just couldn't get them. It didn't matter whether you had the money, whether you had put the order in. Everybody was waiting. And we also needed training in virtual teaching. Again, it was uncharted territory, so we had to prioritize our needs. In the spring, I think most of you know, we did sessions when we closed down to begin with. Some of which we did right off the bat, and there was such a good response, we kept going. And we recorded those sessions and put them on our district YouTube channel. But in the fall, we had to prioritize, okay, who didn't come to what do they absolutely need, and what do we need to make sure that we provide for them. So with CARES Act funding, we were able to get one-to-one for K-12. We were able to get some additional MiFis through the NC Student Connects grant. We were able to get 60 additional devices. We were able to buy the Chromebook bags to protect the devices. We were able to get digital resources for exceptional children's, I believe literacy footprints, and I think Dreambox was also in that, all digital resources we were able to use that money for. We were able to add 2 out of community donations. We were able to add additional MiFis through private donations that Ms. Dowdy was able to get to add to our Sprint 1 million collection. We were able to get cloth bags when our bags did not come in. The community really rallied and got us what we needed to try and get started. And we used local funds to triple the number of Khajiits we had, which are a Verizon device, hoping that we would be able to reach Knott's Island and Gibbs Woods with a different cell service signal. So internally, we made it through. We gathered and repurposed old devices. Tech team, administrators, media coordinators, teachers were dragging out everything they could possibly find, locate, dust off, whatever we could do to try and get devices for our elementary school kids, and we were able to cover everybody, including pre-K students. Staff members provided professional development, and our instructional coach team provided training, support. They joined classes virtually. They found digital resources. They helped teachers individually, and they also helped them figure out how to digitize materials that they were already using. We used local funds to purchase additional webcams, document cameras, microphones, another set of devices, Khajiits, and Google Enterprise, so that we could make sure that we could continue to record lessons, because that feature was going away from everybody after they had the free COVID period. Of course, our 612 teachers have done double duty, and I certainly want to make sure that we acknowledge that. They've been teaching in person and virtually since they transitioned back into the building, and that is certainly an awesome task for them to do. We have, it's a fine line trying to find the balance between your at-home and your in-person kids, and trying to find that happy medium. Do you stay in front of the computer? Do you move around the room? Can the kids at home still hear you? You know, how do you keep up with the chat on the side? And they've all handled it, I think, admirably. And then we get to our virtual academy. So in October, we had 400 students whose parents said they wanted to stay virtual from all 6 schools, and we needed staff. So we asked for volunteers, and we only had 8 applicants, and we needed at least 18 to start. So it was quite a challenge. We had to analyze the data and see where we could pull from based on numbers of who had enrolled. All of the leadership was included in those decisions, and Dr. Lutz personally visited each person who was going to be involved so that we could try to make this as easy a transition as a difficult situation can be under the circumstances. We also determined that under the circumstances of trying to keep that balance between having something that could be overseen as a separate entity but still have all of the schools. Teachers were all over at different school buildings. Trying to keep them connected was important, and we thought we needed somebody to oversee that. So we were grateful that when Dr. Lutz approached Ms. Daniels, that she was willing to step in and provide that leadership for us in that capacity. She's, if you don't know, she's a Google certified trainer. She's national board teacher. She has her administrative degree. She's worked at the high school for years and has a vast knowledge of the devices, how to troubleshoot devices, how to help the kids with the devices. And so we were grateful that she was willing to step in and assist. On this screen, you'll just see all of the staff members who were involved. I just wanted to recognize them. We did tell them that we were going to do this tonight, but we didn't know about in-building capacity, so we weren't sure about numbers. So Lindsay was able to be here tonight, but we did tell them that they were going to be recognized. And we're grateful for all of the people. The ones who we added after the fact, Ms. Corletto had to change in January because we had a rise in our second grade numbers and we were over class size mandates. We had Olivia Vaughn, who stepped in when we had an unexpected vacancy the first day. We had Beth Lavoie and Brandy Turner, who were added, one for science for 4th and 5th grade and social studies 4th and 5th grade. They have about 130 kids and teach 8 live sessions a day. We were also able to add 2 TA spots, virtual TA spots, to do small groups with Cynthia Hobbs and Debbie Steele. Debbie Steele, who's been a preschool teacher in our district for I don't even know how many years. Lots of people have had their children go through her program, and so we're very grateful that they were willing to step in and help us in this situation. Some of the things we had to navigate, giving M-class assessments and check-ins virtually. I know Ms. Rose knows what it's like to give a running record, and trying to get that virtually and set up a separate session and hope that the student logs in and hope that the parent makes the student log in has been quite the challenge. Ms. Daniels has worked tremendously on helping people take check-ins virtually and getting on meets to try and help them navigate that. Trying to do small groups and one-on-one sessions in a virtual setting is not an easy task by any means. Having parent-teacher conferences, IEP and 504 meetings virtually, trying to get sometimes paper packets, especially for the little ones, to have a writing activity where they're actually working on those fine motor skills and getting manipulatives to them. We have some teachers like Trish Richardson who has to cover students in 4 different buildings. So trying to get those devices, packets and manipulatives and whatever else to them. They also had to deal with attendance and grades from multiple schools, multiple rosters, and try to keep that straight. And we had to share staff like EC teachers, AIG, EL teachers, counselors, social workers, specials. We were all trying to navigate that, as well as the building level administrators, so that we could try to provide comparable services in a virtual environment. And we had some blessings. We had 3 new babies born into our staff, but with that, you can imagine finding coverage for maternity leave in a virtual world was it was interesting. I've had lots of conversations with people that I've known for years that were like, no, absolutely not. That was not something they wanted to cover. So we were lucky. I also want to make sure that I let everyone know that Lynette Warden stepped in and took over the news while Lindsay was out with her baby. Diane Davenport worked on new enrollments and fielding parent phone calls. She also helped with some issues when she could. Yvette Jones certainly helped with fielding some phone calls. And Christy Hodges stepped in and filled a very difficult position when we had that unexpected position that opened up while we were trying to get Olivia Vaughn into her spot. So we couldn't have done what we've done without them, so we're grateful for that. And then the last thing is just our thanks. All of these groups were an integral part of us being able to do what we were able to do this year. We couldn't have done it in isolation. There is no way that we could have been even remotely successful. And I am truly hopeful that the test scores will show that not only were we didn't regress as much as other districts are afraid of, but I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with what we were able to do in the short term from everybody on here, from Kathy filling in the high school media center. Parents were on social media, actually helping each other with issues that they were facing and showing support for the schools. Special teachers recorded weekly lessons. And then we had Jim Wright and Corey Martin, who also did live sessions on Friday. Tech department obviously went above and beyond with adding 0 additional staff, doubling the number of devices, and adding the student help desk. Our social workers were meeting with us every 2 weeks about our at-risk students, making home visits, phone calls, trying to help us in that way. The AID, EC, and EL teachers were all meeting with their students. Media coordinators were helping troubleshoot issues. Administration and secretary were trying to reroute people to us when it was needed. School nutrition was still feeding our kids, and transportation was helping us transition our kids back in the building when they were at risk, and workout testing, since we were trying to bring everybody in for testing. And then district leadership has been very involved in being supportive and encouraging and keeping the board aware of what we've been doing. So It Takes a Village has taken on a whole new meaning for me this year. I hope that you will recognize, I think you do already, everything that everybody has put into this to try and help us get through a challenging time. The Board of Commissioners even giving us MiFis in the spring. Mr. Stikelether was great about getting some additional devices to us for some staff members to help us get through. So it truly has been a community effort to help us get through this pandemic, to help us still educate our kids. And I hope that you'll be pleased with the results, and we've certainly learned lessons that we'll take into any future discussions about virtual learning.
Any questions for Ms. Reynolds?
Well, Ms. Reynolds, I've known you a long time, and I know you are one that gives like 24/7 to whatever task is thrown at you. And, you know, while you're giving lots of accolades to all those that were a part of it, rightfully so, I think you are to be commended for a job well done, because I can't even imagine what all you had to do to make all the wheels work.
Yeah, anything for kids.
I feel the same way. You have gone above and beyond your duties that you signed up for, and we can't thank you enough for everything you've done and everything you can continue to do for us. We just really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Student board member reports.
Okay, so I'll be starting this evening with Central Elementary School. Central Elementary has been busy working towards a strong finish. M-Class data is showing amazing growth of students despite all the trials of the past year. Congratulations to Kelly Goins, who has had 100% of her third graders reach a proficiency level for the state Read to Achieve legislation. Miss Blotcher's class again won the Some Dog Challenge for our region. Way to go, mathematicians. There have been signs of new life with eggs hatching and butterflies transitioning. It has been a busy spring. Thanks to our families for a great school year. Currituck County High School. There are many activities and events going on at CCHS. We look forward to viewing our virtual senior awards presentation this Thursday, May 13th at 7. The YouTube link will be sent on social media. The Addams Family will be presented by the Theater Arts Department May 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. in the Currituck County Middle School auditorium. Graduation practice and senior picnic will be held Friday, May 21st, beginning at 10:30. Seniors will report to the CCHS lobby for practice assignments. Our traditional graduation ceremony will be held on Thursday, May 27th at 7 p.m. in the football stadium, and our smaller group graduation ceremony will be held on May 28th at 1 in the CCHS gym. Congratulations to all of our seniors and their families. Currituck County Middle School. Each year, our students participate in a vocabulary competition through a website called vocabulary.com. 1.3 million students from 43,520 schools across North America participated in the Vocabulary Bowl this year, a competition to see which school can master the most words. This year's Vocabulary Bowl season was from October 1st, 2020 through April 30th, 2021. Our amazing students officially took second place for middle school in our division, which is for schools under 500 students in the entire country for the second row in a year. Our students mastered over 66,000 words in total and beat hundreds of competing schools. Congratulations to our ELA teachers, Chris, Terry, Tara, and Kristen, and to the students of Currituck County Middle School.
So next is Griggs Elementary. JES had a lot of celebrations in the month of May. We honored our GES teachers with many food bars and handwritten cards throughout Teacher Appreciation Week. We also honored our fantastic cafeteria workers with gifts and a banner. Our wonderful nurse, Miss Blake, was greeted with an appreciation banner, flowers, and chocolate for Nurses Day. Mrs. Christy Ryan has been doing a phenomenal job preparing teachers, staff, and our students for EOGs. The staff recognized Mr. Greco and Mrs. Ryan for Principal's Day with a banner, lunch, and gifts. We are looking forward to our 5th grade promotion ceremony and end-of-year celebrations with staff and students. Next is JP Knapp. Congratulations go out to all JPK seniors and super seniors that graduated from COA today. JP Knapp had 59 graduates that have earned 43 degrees, 3 CTE COA program diplomas, and 3 COA program certificates. Those numbers represent 83% of our graduates earning degrees or credentials before graduating from high school on May 21st. In addition, all JPK students worked hard on COA coursework this spring, and COA grades are in 89% C or better. Congratulations to our students for their amazing work during this difficult year.
And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize Olivia at this time, because Olivia just jetted from her COA graduation. So congratulations, Olivia, for earning yours.
For Jarvisburg Elementary School. For Jarvisburg Elementary School. JES had a very successful Title I Family Night. Teachers created Google Slides and YouTube videos for families to participate in STEM activities at home. A school-wide kickoff event was held during the day with donations from community sponsors. With a grant from Duke Energy Foundation, the individual student STEM kits, we were able to allow all students to receive materials to take home. Prizes were awarded to the top participants as well. We had a great Teacher Appreciation Week with support from our PTA and JES families last week. It has been a great year at JES. We are thankful to everyone who has supported us during this challenging time. We could not have done it without you. For Knott's Island Elementary School. Knott's Island Elementary has been bustling with activities. We hosted a parent listening session as part of the district strategic plan. We hosted a successful week-long family reading engagement event. And last week, we celebrated our awesome teachers. And we are gearing up to finish the year strong.
Okay, so I will start with Moyock Elementary School. Moyock Elementary School students will be honored with an ice celebration and dunk tank the last week of school. The top 3 classes in math and the 40-book challenge will get to have their teacher dunked. Lots of exciting things happening as we close out the 2021 school year. Next is Moyock Middle School. Moyock Middle School had an exciting Teacher Appreciation Week with lots of TLC for our staff. We are also very excited to announce that our golf team took home the championship trophy this year. And from Sharborough Elementary School. The Sharborough Elementary School outdoor classroom is complete. Students will begin using the classroom this week. Check out pictures on our Facebook page. This project was made possible by all parents, families, and friends who contributed to our Boosterthon Fund Run fundraiser last year. An additional thank you to local community members who made financial and time donations to help the completion of this project. One other thing that I wanted to say as well is that the Beta Club at the high school is running a event right now, and where we are gathering food donations for the food pantry. So make sure you're bringing in all those non-perishable items.
Okay. At the high school is still continuing Katie's Legacy Lego Drive through the end of next week, which I know a lot of the other schools in the community are as well. So Lego donations as well.
Thank you. Thank you all. We did not have anyone sign up for our public comment session. All right. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
Karen,
Yes.
we need to do the recognition of the
Oh, I'm
person.
sorry. Yes, that I don't want to miss that. Recognition of our departing student board members.
Taylor and Olivia, if you would please come on up.
Yes.
Are we all going?
Taylor and Olivia have both been with us for 2 years, and quite a journey. It's been plenty of board meetings, impromptu board meetings all through COVID, and they've been wonderful with their feedback, and we appreciate their service.
All right, we'll take a group picture. All right, everybody looking this way on 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay there, don't go anywhere. All right, we're gonna do it again. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, girls. Thank you.
Okay, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to
yes.
approve?
I would like to add the approval of the calendar for the upcoming school year to our agenda, please.
Okay, is that a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we do that.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We will add that to our agenda. Budget amendments for fiscal year 2020-21. I need to have action on that tonight. And Ms. York, if you would like to bring us up to date on the budget.
Okay, absolutely. All right, in your board package, you have budget amendment number 5. This will not be the last budget amendment of the year, so just saying. The last budget amendment had us at $50,582,803.45. This budget amendment is for an increase of $482,098.88, which brings our total appropriation in our current amended budget to $51,064,902.33. If you will turn the page, the following pages are what actually transpires in this budget amendment. The second page is the State Public School Fund. You'll see the expenses with the purpose codes that you'll be voting on. And the revenues are the PRCs where we've gotten money or we had to divert money. We received some additional allotments and adjustments for state PRCs due to some sub-pay, RTA camp money, special programs, funds for EC, and there's some ABC transfers in there. And this amendment also records any budget transfers requested by the individual departments for their daily operational needs. And the total increase for our state public school fund is $141,960. Okay, so we'll turn the page. We'll talk about our local current expense fund. We received no further revenues, but we did some budget transfers. So the transfers you'll see up in your expenses purpose code area. You'll turn the page. Next page is the Federal Grants Fund. We did receive some additional allotments for PRCs 49, 50, 103, 108, 169, and 170. 169 and 170 are the GEAR Supplemental Instructional Services funds that came from the Governor's Emergency Funds, which is CARES Act, coming through the state. And so we received a total of $179,504 in the federal grants fund. All right, turning the page, we're a capital outlay fund. And we also, for this, we received an additional $100,000 from our county for the, to go toward the 3 mobile units. Okay, and then finally, the other local revenue fund. We received some additional revenue from Medicaid. We got some big Medicaid money in the door, so that was nice. And we also got some money in for lost badges or maintenance, Chromebook insurance, and we're allowed to use a little bit more money from the Outer Banks Foundation. So the total increase for the other local revenue fund is $60,634.88.
Thank you, Ms. York. Do we have any questions for Ms. York at this time? Do I have a motion?
Yes, I move to approve budget amendment number 5 as
Second.
presented.
Okay, we have a first and we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. York. All right, and next we have action on the budget resolution. Dr. Lutz, do you want to be included in that discussion?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. York.
Okay. All right, so now we'll talk about the budget resolution. This budget resolution that you're voting on tonight is very, very similar to the draft budget resolution that we talked about last meeting. I just have a couple other little changes that I want to point out to you. Instead of a draft budget resolution, this will be our budget resolution for next year. We will be voting on that tonight. This is what's going in the system, July 1.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you know that. So the first page, I took off the word draft. All right, if you'll turn the page, on page 2, section 3, I have teased out the specific allocations from local government in an effort to more clearly show the expenditures of the funds that they're giving us, graciously giving us. Now, for instance, if you look under 001, classroom teachers, there's an A, 12 teachers. So I have separated that out from our normal classroom teachers so that you could see the extra 12 teachers that we are budgeting for. And I've also done the same for the 2.5 curriculum coaches and the 10 TAs.
And we greatly appreciate, again, as a reminder, we are very dependent as a Tier 3 district on local funding. So the majority of our funding comes from state and local dollar with very little federal dollar. And so this is a great gesture on our county's part to continue to support our school system so we provide a great education for our students.
Larissa, I do have one question about those numbers for the staff members. Do these numbers include the benefits that they will be? They do?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes.
And one of the things that I think that we heard in the work session is these things that you pulled out are things that we guaranteed the county commissioners that this would be used strictly for that and that we would hold it that way.
Yes.
So that's why we pulled them out. So
Yes,
we were told and
they'll be recorded. I've already made the new expense budget codes, and they'll be recorded in a special
Right.
tag on the code, so we'll be able to pull those numbers right out
Yes.
for anybody who wants to see them. Okay, so the bottom line is exactly the same. I just changed the wording
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Page 3, next page, section 5 and section 6. So in the time from our last board meeting to this board meeting, I have gotten our federal planning allotments. So I included those in this budget resolution. At the last board meeting, I had projected that we'd be somewhere around 1.6 million, and I came in here at 1,632,646. So we were very close.
Pretty close, yes.
So there you can see every number in the yellow has changed since the draft. So you want to look at that, and then look at the section 6. It shows you exactly what PRC, what federal funds, and what the planning allotments actually are. Okay. And then on the next to last page, under section 12, our total operating budget, all funds, 21-22, that number has changed, and it changed to $46,952,293, and that change is solely due to the federal allotments that I had, the planning allotments that I had been given. Okay.
All right, any questions for Ms. York? Okay, since this is an action item, do I have a motion to
So moved.
approve the budget resolution?
I make a move that we approve the budget resolution as presented to us.
I second that.
Okay. Do we have any discussion?
Yes. I would just like to remind everyone that the work session before last, we discussed this in great detail. So it's not like we're just getting it and we're going to approve it. So we have discussed it in detail.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. It sounds like we're making a lot of quick decisions, but I do want the public to know we have meetings prior to our general board meeting, at 6:30. We start our meetings at about 4 o'clock, and so we go through everything in detail. And Ms. York, this is a lot of information, a lot of hard work in this report. And again, our hats off to you, and we thank you for all of your hard work. Okay, we have a first and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thanks again, Ms. York.
Thank you.
Okay, summer school update. Dr. Matt Lutz and Renee Dowdy, our assistant superintendent, will lead us in this discussion.
So state law was recently passed that required that all schools provide summer school. And as I commented in the work session, I don't mind commenting again. I'm very proud of our district. I think some of the work that Sandy outlined and the work that we've done across the board throughout this pandemic has been pretty top-notch. And we've managed to return our elementary school in October and our middle schools in November, and we got our high school kids back in January, and we've been successful with that. However, state law requires that we provide summer school to the tune of 150 hours or 30 days throughout the course of the summer, thus making it summer school. And so we have put together a pretty robust plan to allow our students to engage in summer school, and at this point I'm going to allow Ms. Dowdy to walk us through it.
All right, as Dr. Lutz said, Session Law 2021-7 does require that every LEA across the state offers some type of school extension, learning, and recovery enrichment program. That program, as he just stated, has to happen over the course of the summer. It cannot be an extension of the school year to keep it going or run into the next concurrent school year. LEAs got the choice to choose between 150 hours of instruction or 30 calendar days. Here in Currituck, as well as many of our other surrounding LEAs, we've opted for the 30-day option because it did provide us a little bit more flexibility in the days in which we could offer it, as well as the hours of which we offer that summer school. All students are required to be eligible for transportation services as well as school nutrition services during the summer learning and enrichment program. Instructional requirements differ based on the grade span, so you'll notice here for K2 during summer learning we are required to provide instruction in reading and math. For our 3th through 8th grade students, we're required to provide instruction in reading, math, and science. And then at the high school level, we're required to provide in-person instruction and support in our EOC content areas, which for us in North Carolina are Math 1, Math 3, Biology, and English 2. We also at the high school level must provide access to credit recovery modules, which we always do every summer for students who would like to enroll in a credit recovery option. And this year differently, we must also offer an in-person elective course. Underneath those instructional requirements, you'll see additional requirements that the state has written into legislation to include that we must offer physical activity in grades K through 8. Again, breakfast and lunch, and then at least an enrichment opportunity as well as social emotional learning supports, which for us means providing some counseling services. Students that are eligible for summer school are defined in the legislation as students who are at risk. So for K-8 students, we're identifying at-risk students as those who are not meeting grade level standards by the end of the 2020-21 school year. And students in grades 12, obviously those at-risk students would be those seniors who are not eligible for graduation at the end of the school year. And then for students in grades 9 through 11, we're looking at those students who failed 2 or more courses, making them in danger of perhaps not meeting graduation requirements with their cohort. You'll notice the asterisk at the bottom. While we are required to offer a summer learning program, it is at the parent's discretion whether or not to enroll those students in the summer learning program. Part of the legislation for Session Law 2021-7 asks local boards to be creative in incentivizing the program for teachers to enroll in and participate in. So you'll see on the bullets down there for Currituck County Schools, we are looking at paying our instructional staff a $200 a day stipend as well as a $200 weekly bonus or incentive for perfect attendance. Our bus drivers and school nutrition, which again you're reminded we have to offer as part of this program, will be paid at above the normal rate of pay for them at $20 per hour. Much of the discussion around all of the LEAs that surrounded us as we participate in curriculum and instruction meetings or superintendent's meetings really has been around how in the world we entice teachers who have just survived a COVID year, juggling multiple different aspects of virtual and in-person learning to participate in summer learning. And we're not the only ones who are struggling with making sure we have enough teachers to provide this program. It's a common thread amongst everyone we talk to. In addition, the session law specifically says that we are required to offer what they are considering a signing bonus for any teacher who has passed teaching bonuses for grades 3, 4, or 5 reading and 4, 5, and 6, or 7th and 8th grade math. So any teacher who we've recognized as a board in the past years for those teacher performance bonuses, really in grades 3 through 8, are eligible to receive a $1,200 signing bonus if they agree to participate and instruct during our summer learning program. In addition, any teacher who has national board certification is eligible to receive that $1,200 sign-on bonus if they too agree to participate in our summer learning program. For third grade reading teachers who participate in the summer learning program, any student who moves from not proficient at the start of our summer learning program to proficient by the end is also eligible for a $150 bonus per student that makes proficiency. And that will be determined based off the assessment that we have to give, a competency-based assessment at the beginning and end of summer learning. Our program dates and times for the 30 days is going to look like June the 14th through August the 4th. We will run our summer learning program Monday through Thursdays. One of the incentives we wanted to be able to offer our staff to also participate, as well as our families, during the summer when we hope some are taking time to rest and rejuvenate, is be able to have Fridays off. So our summer learning program will only run Monday through Thursdays. Student hours are from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and staff are paid for a full day for planning purposes after students leave. And of course, lunch and transportation will be provided. You'll note the little note under there, families in our elementary world may remember that we also have to offer a summer reading camp as part of a separate piece of legislation for any students who are not quite reading on grade level yet. Those reading camp dates do differ than our summer learning dates, and we want our families to know that you may hear 2 different things coming out in our K-3 world. So there is going to be summer reading camp, and then there's also this summer learning opportunity. But summer reading camp will conclude by July the 8th. For 9-12, dates remain the exact same. Our 30-day timeline is the exact same. What you'll notice, though, is in the state legislation, they recognize that many high school students do have summer jobs, and so therefore the flexibility exists for LEAs to break up summer learning into different sessions. So if I'm a high school student who needs to recover my biology credit, then I can come in for 1 session, I can stay for all 3 sessions, but I have a little bit more flexibility to recover that credit. Again, it runs Monday through Thursdays for our high school students. You'll see 3 different session times listed. If I'm a student that needs transportation services in order to get there to get supports for my biology credit recovery opportunity, then obviously that bus is going to bring me at 8:15 and it's not going to take me home till 1:30. As part of that incentive, they're asking us to offer that in-person elective, so perhaps if I'm coming in for biology, I can also gain 1 additional elective credit during that summer learning opportunity. Again, lunch and transportation are provided. Our timeline of where we are, we had to submit our summer learning plan to DPI for them to approve. So on May 7th, we submitted that plan. On May 11th, we asked our teachers to let us know if they were interested in working our summer learning program. This week and into Monday of next week, we'll be sending home our invitations to summer learning for all those students who are identified at risk at the school level based on the criteria I reviewed with you earlier. Parents can expect those letters to come home either in book bags for K-5 students. For our virtual academy students, they're going to be emailed directly to parents. And for our 6 through 12 students and parents, we know sometimes they don't like to bring you home everything they get at school, so we're going to mail them directly to parents in grades 6 through 12. Those student registrations, that invitation that parents will be receiving has information about how to register their child for summer learning. And that we're asking to be done by May 28th so we can then plan, because numbers will drive a lot of what we do for our summer learning program. We also will notify our teachers based on those number of enrollments about their employment for summer learning. We then have to turn around and create another set of bus routes for summer school, June 1st through 4th. We're going to provide our teachers with a work day on June 10th, and then we'll officially begin summer learning on June the 14th. Again, the asterisk just notes that summer reading camp dates may look a little bit different as far as their timeline because they have a different piece of legislation that they have to abide by. And finally, with all things that DPI sends out, we have to report about how it went. So you'll notice on here, these are the things that at the conclusion of our summer learning program, we'll have to report back to the Department of Public Instruction. And that will be how our kids did on the competency-based assessment, which will be iReady at the beginning of summer school, those results at the end of summer school, the number of students promoted after summer school, the number of students retained after summer school, and finally, how many high school students earned credits at the conclusion of summer school and recovered those credits. So that's our summer learning program in a nutshell. It seems like it's been a snowball from the time the legislation rolled through to the time we had to submit everything and get things running. Just when we think we finally get to catch our breath, we get another piece of legislation that says, hold tight, you're not going to breathe just yet, keep holding your breath. And so we've run with this. We are hoping that we can get the message to parents at the end of the day that this opportunity is really about making sure that we start next year off on the right foot. So if parents receive these invitations to join us for summer learning, I hope that they look at them as an opportunity to continue to prepare best for next school year.
Thank you, Ms. Dowdy. Anybody have any questions concerning our summer learning program?
I just want to say that as we learned at the work session and as you're hearing now, that a tremendous amount of work went into this, and I just appreciate Ms. Dowdy and Dr. Lutz and all the hard work that everybody, Ms. Jones, all of you have done to get this together. So
Yes.
And also, as we discussed earlier too, Dr. Lutz said the parents would also be receiving an on-call for those students who are being invited in. So be on the lookout for that as well.
We'll follow up with a direct phone call to parents who receive a letter. We really want to get all the kids that we need. Let's get them in front of us and get them ready for next year, as Ms. Dowdy said.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for the update concerning our summer school. School nutrition. Miss Angela Rodriguez, if you'll fill us in with our child nutrition and everything we need to know.
So I was asked to come, I think there were some questions about the application process and how important it is for the district and the families to fill it out.
Yes.
So we will accept these up until the last day of school. I'll actually probably accept them up until mid-June. Then I have to do my closeout for the year. The applications are colored every year, so if you usually fill one out but you chose not to because everything is free this year with federal government, please fill it out anyway.
Yes.
Federal funds are attached to our free and reduced numbers. There was a misconception with a few staff members that it's the amount of applications we receive. It's not. It's the amount of applications we receive that are approved for free and reduced. So I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, the family letter that's online that you can look at will give you a chart that tells you minimum incomes that would qualify. So I just wanted to throw some numbers out in case the parent's listening. If you're a family of 2, if your annual income is $31,894 or below, please fill an application out. If you're a family of 5 and it's $56,758, please fill an application out. A family of 8, and yes, we have quite a few in the county that are, $81,622. So some people may make the assumption that I'm okay. A lot of our families are borderline.
Yeah.
They may not qualify, but they are tipping over where they could qualify if they didn't get one more paycheck coming in. Those are the kids that are benefiting this year with the free program. I love the free program. We as directors are begging that they keep the free program. So we are fighting for that. Every time we have a meeting, is this going to stay? We believe for next year we're set. I don't know the details to it. The program's going to change just a little bit. But the adjustment that I'd like to make internally is that we've heard our bigger kids are still hungry. So I'm trying to figure out packaging-wise how I can get more fruits and vegetables to them so that they're satisfied throughout the whole day. But I did want to remind the parents that breakfast is also free. When most of the schools, when they come in, it's set up in different stations and it's a grab and go. The menus are online at currituckschoolmeals.com. You can pull up the menus. You could do the curbside ordering. We do like to do the curbside ordering a week in advance. With our summer learning program and summer reading, we will be offering curbside again still. We may be limited on where we can based off of staffing, because just as teaching staff, I'm having limited people wanting to give up their summer to come back in to help us. So I'm going to have to just strategically place where we place the curbside at, but we will do pre-ordering with that, service our students in the building, also service our community. If you're curious, we were doing 1,550, so to say, daily. Schools came back with our little ones. We were doing maybe about 180 to 220 curbside. When everybody came back at the high school, we are now an average of 65 to 120 curbside still. We service a lot of our students on the south end with Jarvisburg Christian Academy. They come in and grab meals from us. We have some families that are not district families, but they're community families. They're benefiting from the program, so it's been a huge success on that. I haven't been able to see you all face to face, so I want to personally thank you for not just the personal messages, but the public messages supporting the program, for Dr. Lutz supporting the department. For the community that does the continued support, they might not know they make a difference when they see one of the girls or guys in the food line and say, thank you guys for what you do. It kind of fills their bucket, and I'd like their buckets to be overfull. So anytime you see somebody, please thank them for that. They're very selfless people.
Yeah.
They're continually giving, and giving, just like everybody in the district. We're not in survival mode anymore, which is a nice feeling, but we are in change mode. So we see what works, what didn't work, and we'll make the changes from there. But it's really, really vital. Please fill out the application.
But you want everybody, no matter what.
Ask that too.
Yeah.
Why don't you fill that out?
Yeah.
That was asked in our other meeting. I will accept everyone's application. It's better to know that you don't qualify than to know that you might have qualified without filling it out. So if everyone would like to benefit and grab an application, you can call my office. I can mail one. You could go to your front office and ask for one. The cafeterias usually have some extras. I have this online. We are diligently, the software was supposed to have it by the end of January. They haven't gotten me online to fill out the form, but I am online to print the form, and then you may mail it back or give it back to your front cafeteria or front staff, and they can get it back to me for processing.
And what's that final date that you need that back?
I can take it up until the next school year starts, which is July 1, but I'm probably going to cut us off mid-June because I have to process them, and I have a 10-day processing to it, and then getting everything out to them. So families, even after school, and it rolls into the first 30 days of next year. There will be another application when school starts in July. I usually get them out in the end of July, 1st of August. It'll be a different color, so you know not to fill out the green ones. It'll be differently posted on the website. Hopefully it will be electronically based then. You easily go on to your phone or your computer, fill it out, and you're done. You don't have to send anything in. And it will be paperless, which is wonderful. But just fill it out. If you don't know that you filled it out, call me. I can look you up real fast and find it out.
So if they fill it out now, between now and June 15th, do they have to do another one when their children start back in August?
Yes, ma'am. Every year they should always, I always tell everybody by mid-September, if you haven't filled one in, you're going to fall off of the list by the about the 20th of September. It's usually the first 30 days. After the first 30 days, it kicks them out, puts you back in paid status. Next year, everything should still flow. The program name will change. Instead of Summer Food Program, we'll do SSO. It's just different for us, but the kids shouldn't feel anything different to it. I believe everything will be free again. The only success that we found is breakfast in the classroom. Our numbers have skyrocketed with breakfast, which we all know is one of the most important meals of the day. Some of our babies after lunch, they may not have a full dinner, so they're hungry for breakfast, and we've been able to give that to them. So I'm really hoping that the state looks at the numbers, federal looks at the numbers, and they realize this is something that we need to just continue.
So right now, we want people to fill out that form that have not already done one this year.
Yes, ma'am, and if they're not sure if they have or they hadn't, because the year's been really busy.
Yes.
Call
Not
them in the
normal.
office. They can also call their cafeteria manager, and they're more than welcome to look them up. They will ask a couple of questions to make sure that it's a secure information, but we will verify with them. I haven't decided yet. I may send out everyone that filled out with an application email. I may send out a quick email that says, this is just a reminder that you have filled out the application. Thank you so much. Please be on the lookout for application for next year.
I think it's important for us to note, too, for families. So there's a benefit for us as a school district, obviously, when families fill out those forms. There's a benefit to the family as well, whether they receive additional funding and support from federal government. During COVID closures, many of them are receiving benefits on PEBT cards. And in addition, for students, I think it's important to note that many of your test fees are waived when you get to high school if you qualify for free and reduced lunch. So having families, especially at the high school level, SAT fees are waived, ACT fees can be waived. Scholarship opportunities happen specific to students who qualify for this program. So even though we tend to look at it as an elementary thing and making sure our families filled out, it's as important at the high school level because we issue waivers for application fees for college, SAT, ACT fees for that.
Yeah.
All of those things come into play as well.
I did not know there were scholarships available specific for students.
We have a Victor Bell that's in the middle school. Every year we have, I get a list of qualified students by grade, and then we filter through those listings, and our free and reduced students are benefited through that program. So, yes, ma'am. But I also wanted to note our number drops in the number of applications received once they hit high school. It's a social thing, and I understand that, but I promise everyone, it's no one, even if Dr. Lutz was to come up to me and say, hey, Angela, is Darcy on, that's my daughter, is Darcy on free or reduced? I would say I can't tell you. I couldn't tell anyone on the board. Yeah. It's a private, privileged information. So these applications stay in my office.
And when they go through the line, there's no way anybody knows because everybody has a number.
Yeah. It's called a non-identifier. We cannot identify you by a ticket.
Yeah.
We can't identify you by a stamp on your hand. We can't identify you by you get in this line because you can do this, you get in that line because you can't. None of that happens.
So the only way anyone would know is if the recipient told someone theirself.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. But there are so many benefits, like Ms. Dowdy was stating, that if they would just fill the application out, you may have a child that is hungry that doesn't need to be hungry because we can feed them.
Angela, I would just like to thank you and your staff for making sure that our children were fed throughout the pandemic, and I'm sure the rest of the board would agree with me.
Absolutely.
Couldn't do it alone. It was little notes here and there that came in. It was public announcements. Ms. Dowdy was good for tagging along on her social media. So it takes a village, and we're part of the village. So.
Always looking out for those outer areas. I know you did a lot with Knott Island and Gibbs Woods, and I heard many people, they really felt like someone was looking out for them. So
I'm a Gibbs Woods girl.
That's right.
Once a Gibbs Woods girl, always.
Thank you so much.
But you can't make me go away.
Everything that you've done, it does not go unnoticed. We appreciate everything.
Thank you
Staff
so much.
appreciate the support as well. So they grumble a lot, but they're heart of gold. So.
You have an outstanding staff. I know several of your staff members, and you really do have an outstanding staff.
Dysfunctional family, but we work really hard.
I love it.
We all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
As Dr. Dobby pointed, it's always dangerous when used, but I think we had 2 departments that never had any break, and that would have been our school nutrition and technology. I think from the day March 3rd, there was no gap. They were nonstop. And
No working from
and
home.
I had to call Angela and say, Angela, guess what? We're doing summer school too.
Yeah.
She knew there was reading camp, and I said, and that's going to run us all the way to August. And she always takes it with, you know what? We'll get it done.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, as everyone's aware, we did add to the agenda the school calendar. So I'd like to ask Dr. Lutz and Renee Dowdy to bring us up to date concerning our school calendar.
Okay. We have been waiting to determine whether or not we could start on August the 16th or August the 23rd. Current law dictates that we must start on August the 23rd. Within our community, as we've been working through our strategic plan and other things, it is a very popular concept that we start on the August 16th date. I don't know that we've heard a single complaint regarding that. However, we are still bound by law to start on the 23rd. What I'm going to propose here is that we adopt a calendar that starts with August the 16th. Whether or not we return to school on the 23rd or the 16th, our Christmas break will be the same, the 20th, 2 weeks off, the 20th through the 31st. The spring break will remain the same. However, the benefit of starting on the 16th allows us to end the semester prior to Christmas and to have a natural end and a new beginning to the second semester. J.P. Knapp Early College has always been exempt from this. Their charter allows for that, and so they will start on the 16th of August. And one other thing, there are 30 calendar bills currently in the legislature allowing for schools to start on the 16th, mostly in the House. One bill that went through the House passed 114-1 to allow a 3-year period where we can start around the August 16th date. However, the Senate has yet to act on these items. So we have been trying to patiently wait for action from our legislature to allow us to begin early. And so we had 2 choices. We can continue to wait, or we can make an act. If we are unable to start on the 16th, we can move it back to the 23rd.
I make a motion that we approve the calendar with the August 16th date, with the understanding that if the laws or the bills don't go through, that we have to back it up.
Yeah, we'll have to change it at that time. Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
Well, I just wonder if we should pass something that is not, it is against the law at the moment. I mean, I'm all for it. I want to go back on the 16th, but right now, our hands are tied. And I have already communicated with someone trying to see what the feelings are on that side.
Well, with this, we're saying it's the 16th, but we're well aware we're not going to do that unless something comes down.
We're acknowledging that if that's not possible because of them not changing the law, that we'll do what the law says.
Yeah, we have to bring it back up.
Will we put a date out there? Like, say, if we don't hear anything for sure by, say, our last meeting next month, or then we'll just go ahead and move everything to that.
We'll have to move it, but I think I'd like to put something out so that people can start to make
some plans.
I've had several calls from people that want to know because they're planning vacations, they're planning
summer
visits with their fathers or their mothers. They're trying to coordinate dates.
Well, they really can't plan because even with this, because it could change.
Well,
it allows us to put, I think the one benefit here is it allows us to put out when the winter break and spring break is and
Yes.
other dates
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
Because
the other
those dates,
dates-
Regardless.
That's
regardless,
right.
those
Yeah.
dates get to stay the same. So at least people can see that. It's a 1 week.
Will be in place.
Yeah.
They will
Yeah.
have theirs.
We're
in
not going to
place.
move off of those. And other districts that we've talked to that have adopted the early calendar said, oh, well, if we get a chance, we're moving to the 16th.
Yeah.
They're doing the exact opposite.
Right.
And so they would be in the same boat.
So we might not have to do anything, and they
Right.
would have to go
They
back
would
and
have to.
adjust theirs.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a first, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in, all, yes.
So for the calendars, does everything look the same on both versions besides the start date and end date? Is there any difference?
A few, maybe a little bit of
The
difference.
second,
in early
the
release.
first semester, if we start on the 23rd, Taylor, the second semester will not end until after Christmas, 2 weeks after. We can't get the dates to work to bring us enough dates in before the break. I can't see you.
The
I'm
dates
sorry.
are the same, but the semester doesn't end.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it would be helpful that if you guys put out the August 16th one, say if this isn't approved, then the planned start date would be August 23rd with the end date of this, just so families have a good idea of when school's going to end and when school's going to start.
Yeah,
If
we
you
can definitely do
We
that.
could post both.
Yeah. And at least they'll know.
And it'll be
It's
one or the other.
preliminary,
That
but
way
that's
they
going
have
to,
options,
yeah,
you know,
that's going to
just
be our
say,
target, will be the 16th. And if,
Calendars are literally almost identical, except for the semester change, which means there are a couple of work days because of the high school change in semesters that look different.
And then
But-
the Thanksgiving holiday
Right,
is
but
in there.
everything else
so,
is pretty
yeah.
much the exact same thing.
okay. Any further discussion? We have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Field trip request.
Okay. We had, let's see here. We had a regional and both state golf tournament where we were able to send some students there. That had already occurred. We did not place. The field trip that I was really hoping we were going to take was to the state championship for softball.
Yes.
We came just short
Yes.
yesterday.
That close.
All right, well, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Couple really important dates that are coming up. It's that time of year. Graduation ceremonies are right around the corner. Mark your calendar for May 21st. That's our J.P. Knapp Early College graduation, and that's going to be held at the College of the Albemarle on the 21st of May at 7 p.m. May 27th will be Currituck County High School's graduation at 7 p.m., and that will be held at the football stadium, and we're looking forward to that. And we did want to tell everyone that we are going to be able to give every student 6 tickets. 6 tickets instead of 4. We were working with 4, but we're going to up that to 6. So spread the word that more of your friends and family members will be able to be there in person. May 28th will be our small group graduation, and that will be held at Currituck County High School, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. that day. And I think we had 20 students
Somewhere in the
that are
20
going to be
range.
graduating at 23 at 1 p.m. that afternoon. June 1st, we have our end-of-the-year luncheon for staff, and June 24th, we're going to meet again here. We're going to have our work session at the Knapp Professional Learning Center at 4 p.m., and we'll have our general membership meeting at 6:30 here at the historic Currituck County Courthouse. Board member comments. Dr. Dobney, would you like to start us off?
Oh, sure. I would just like to once again thank all the faculty, staff, and administration who helped us get through this pandemic as smoothly as we did, because it was crazy to say the least, but they did a great job. Also, I think Taylor mentioned that high school play on the 13th and 14th.
14th
14th and 15th. And that reminded me that it's now the Buddy White
Yes.
Auditorium, and we still need to do a dedication.
Yes, we do. Yes.
So if we could get that scheduled before too long.
I have it in my notes, Dr. Daubney, that we will, once COVID has ended and we can have a larger indoor group gathering, it would be appropriate to invite Buddy and have a formal dedication.
Oh,
I look
okay.
forward to that celebration.
Great.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dobney. Ms. Kraft?
Yes. So I attended the prom at the Whalehead Club, and it was well attended, and it was a wonderful event. All the ladies and gentlemen looked fabulous, and it looked like everyone was having a great time. I know I did until I was about to freeze to death. I also want to give a shout out to Sherry, and I'm going to mess this up really bad, Fischel Schweiger. She's our 4-H extension agent here in Currituck County, and she's responsible for the second grade students in all of our elementary schools having the opportunity to hatch chicks and butterflies. I've been at all 6 of the elementary schools, and the students were so excited. They couldn't wait to share it with me, and they had the little chicks, and they even had it. One group were outside, and they were holding them. They had them in a little circle, so they were holding them. So we really appreciate the opportunities that these projects afforded the students. I want to congratulate our Lady Knights on a fantastic season. They fought to the bitter end, and so I just really just want to congratulate them. And Taylor and Olivia, we're going to miss you, and we wish you all the luck. And again, I agree with Dr. Dobney. I thank you all for everything you've done to make this year a success.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Ms. Peters?
Well, I'd like to start off with, today is actually, I think, National School Nurse Day. So what an important job that's been always, but especially this year. I know they had to go above and beyond and add a lot of new things to our schools, and so I want to give a shout out to them and thank them. And of course, last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and I don't even know what we could do to thank all of our teachers, but I just wanted to personally give a shout out to all of the teachers for all their hard work this year and all the staff. I know we've many times said how much everyone does to pull together, and thank you for all your hard work. I did as well attend the senior prom. It was so exciting to see all the kids. I forgot what the prom was like. It seemed like they danced a lot more than I remember, but that was exciting, and they looked beautiful. I saw so many smiles, and it was exciting. And again, thank you to the county commissioners and the staff and all the volunteers. I know just by looking at the beautiful details and all of it, the tables, gorgeous. And there was just a lot of work put in it, and I really hope that the seniors had a good time and enjoyed themselves. I also wanted to as well, I know the softball, the Lady Knights had a great run, and it was so exciting. I was hoping for them last night, too. I was like, that would be so exciting for them to go all the way, but they should be very proud of their season, and congratulations to them. And then the last thing, of course, congratulations to all of our seniors. This has been a heck of a year. I hope that everyone enjoys what they go on to do. Wish you the best of luck, and to the parents as well, and the families. Has been a rough year on you, but they've made it. And, of course, to Taylor and Olivia, thank you. It was nice to meet you this year, and I know you're going to do very well, and best wishes.
Thank you, Ms. Peters. Ms. Rose?
Well, I'd like to talk about the prom, too. Hats off to those folks who pulled it together with just a little bit of notice. Dr. Lutz said, we're going to do a prom, and in no time they had it together. You know, just to be able to have our prom at the Whalehead Club, which is a part of our heritage, was just amazing to me, and I would really love to see it there every year, to be quite honest. But it was a gorgeous venue, and our students looked amazing, and they were all well behaved. And thanks to all of the community that supported it through donations of food or tents, and our commissioners, they did a lot for us as well, and Tamron to in her group. I want to give a shout out to our nurses because, boy, have we worked them this year. And they've done a fabulous job. Softball team, I went to that game last night. Awesome team, awesome coach. They had a good run, and I'm proud of them. Golf, Jack Eckert, I believe, competed at the state level, and hats off to him. Outdoor classroom at Shawborough. That is amazing to me that they were able to raise the money to do that through a fun run. And hats off to their parents and family members and the community that supported them in that fun run. And then Knott's Island Elementary had recently raised, I believe, about $6,000
The library.
for the library to purchase books, again, through family and community support as those children participated in a readathon. So we've had community support this year, unlike any year I can remember. Just every which way we turn. Everybody, you know, we've got a group that's supporting our seniors and adopting them. We had that last year, and people doing nice things for our seniors. So
Not really adopting them, but
adopting them and showering them with gifts, so to speak, or
That's right.
kind gestures. But I do want to say I'm proud to be a Currituck County person. We've got a great community. We've got a great school system. And I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be. And Taylor and Olivia, I'm very proud of both of you. You've done an outstanding job while serving on the board. You've both got bright futures, and I want you to stay in touch. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Rose. Dr. Lutz?
A few informational items. So sixth grade visits, again, what unusual years, unusual circumstances. Traditionally, we would bring our fifth graders into our middle schools and start to ease that transition. So we're doing things a little bit different this year. Fridays at Mayock Middle School through May 21st and Mondays throughout the summer. We encourage families to set up visits and come in and tour the building. And we'll have a special open house. And I use open house in terms of not your traditional, we go and visit all the teachers. Come in the building, walk through it, see what's available, see how things are. Same with Currituck Middle School. They're going to host a Friday tour date, and we'll get that to be announced. And then special sixth grade open house along with new students again in August to just come in the building and see what that's like, because we have things that we normally would do, we did not do due to a variety of reasons.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Will that be sent out to those upcoming sixth graders?
It should be,
Okay,
yes.
all that information? Okay, sorry.
That should come directly from those principals.
Okay.
A strategic plan update. We have, in the midst of building a summer school plan and doing the ESSER plan, we have the strategic plan on our calendars ready to roll. And we have gathered thousands of pieces of information from across the county, and we are in the midst of compiling that information and creating our themes and seeing where that information is going to guide us. We think it's rich and robust, and we did some activities recently, and it's clear what our themes are and where we need to be, and I look forward to updating the board as we come closer to that conclusion and roll this out to the community. As a reminder, the accreditation process will be part of that for the high school. We look forward to Dr. Justin Durham joining us at the high school and leading that effort towards accreditation and also serving as our high school principal. I also wanted to update. We are doing some things differently right now. One of the things that we are doing differently is we are attempting to hire early, and we are being very open about what we have available. And so in that effort, it may look like, oh my gosh, we have all these openings. Where did this come from? Mm-hmm. This is very normal in a school system. This is when you have employees leave, retire, move away, have families, military, and so on and so forth. We're really not adding numbers of employees so much as we are replacing previous positions. We are adding a few new positions. Those would be with instructional coaches, teacher assistants, and teachers due to an unfunded mandate through the state to reduce class sizes. But we've been very open about what those positions are, and we're trying to get out and get the absolute best employees we can for our students and to serve our families in this county. I have to mention the prom because I hadn't been to prom for a while, and it was.
Date, too.
I had a beautiful date. I did. I had a beautiful date, and it was so nice to see kids having fun and smiling and normal, and there was just none of the shenanigans that I used to see as a high school principal or high school assistant principal. It was just a pleasant night. Again, Sandy, you presented tonight virtual schools. You know, when I watch a presentation, when you live it every day, you sometimes miss what goes on. You realize we literally created a school on the ground, and we blended kids across the county. And we had talked in our work session about how we have data on our kids, and we know where they're at. We know where our virtual kids are at. We know where our in-person kids are at. And it's quite a feat. So, again, thank you for you and your team for doing that. Olivia and Taylor, you will be missed. Taylor, I appreciated your comments again tonight. Olivia, your comments regarding virtual earlier, they resonated and reminded me of the importance of trying to meet all of our kids to the best of their needs. And so we may not have a virtual school next year. It's certainly something that we would like to plan for, but not be told to do, if you know what I mean. So this year we had to, but I thought your comments there were great. And Taylor, again, appreciate your input throughout.
Thank you, Dr. Lutz. And I'm going to also agree with my fellow board members. Same thing, you know, it takes a village, and we hear that all the time, but it's so true in every way with the different departments that we have. We heard Sandy Reynolds earlier, and I just want to thank her. She's our Chief Information Officer for everything that she has done on a daily basis, and she's helped us navigate the pandemic waters. And I think the toughest part's behind us. I'm hoping and praying that it is. But my hat's off to Sandy and everything that she and her team have done this year. Congratulations to all of our seniors. I'm so proud of you for getting through a year that will go down in the books that we've never had before. And I'm so happy that y'all are graduating this year. I appreciate your dedication and your perseverance. Congratulations to our student athletes. They too had a tough year. I went to the game last night and was watching the Lady Knights, and you know, some of them had masks on, and I just can't imagine, you know, having the mask on and having to run you know, with the mask on and just perform a sport of any kind with some of the restrictions that we have in place. I was hoping they'd pull it off. We almost did. We lost by one, but what a game. It reminded me of those days. My daughter, my oldest daughter, played sports, went on to play college ball, and I remember as a parent, you know, being out there and traveling every weekend. You were on the road, and she played college ball, and we went, you know, to Orlando and different areas to watch her play. And when your heart's in it and you love the students and you love the kids that are playing, it means a lot. So I know they were disappointed last night, but I just want to tell everyone we're very proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. Teacher Appreciation Week last week. Kudos to all of our teachers. You've done an awesome job this year. Let me see. I think that is it. With that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.